Hey everybody, Mikeycat Outdoors here. So what are we doing today? We're hanging out in a 16-man Tipi hot tent. Seek Outside. Got a 4-dog titanium wood stove. Got a cheap little hammock on my Hammock Swiftlet hammock stand. It's got a array of bips and bops in here, some pricey and some cheap, and been hanging out past couple of nights in here, slept a couple of times. Started off about 65 the other day, got down to 37 last night, and tonight it's 28, so it's progressively getting colder. Got the great lunar eclipse happening tonight, so it'll be peaking in about a half an hour. So just gonna hang out here for a little bit and get my daughter out in a little while and go watch the moon and see how it is. So let's check it out. This is cozy. Get to lounge out in a hammock in a hot tent on a cold November night. It's not bad. Relaxing. One of the big lessons of proper hot tenting is you always want to make sure that you've got insulation in terms of sleeping bag, or if you're hammock camping, your top quilt and the underquilt set. You want to have them rated for at least the coldest temperature that you would anticipate encountering when you're out and about. Depending on the brand, if you got a really good name brand sleeping bag or quilt, if they use the EN ratings, they'll have ones for like survival, and they'll have ones for comfort. A lot of bags out there are just rated for survival ratings, so you won't freeze to death in them, but you won't be comfortable at that temperature. So unless it's something like Western mountaineering or some real fancy, $500+ bag, a lot of them out there, that you get at your, Gander Mountain or Walmart or whatever, a lot of those, you usually want to do a little padding on the temperatures. So if it's going to get down to 30 degrees, bring a 15-degree bag. If you think it's going to get down to 10 degrees, bring a 0-degree bag. Have about 10 degrees or so buffer at least. That way you got margin, you're not going to freeze. One other trick, if you get a sleeping bag like a mummy style, you can always buy a female rated one, because they tend to put a little extra padding in them. Women tend to sleep a little colder. So you'll get more towards the comfort rating as opposed to the survival rating on a bag. I've done that with Mountain Hardware, and it seems to be a little bit of a difference between the men's and the females. 15-degree down bags. But yeah, you have a hot tent, you can go to sleep hot, you can wake up, stoke the fire, bring it up nice and warm, take another little nap or eat breakfast and get all cozy warm. But in the wee hours of the night, unless you got some auxiliary heat to kind of keep you above freezing, your base camp, you can probably do that, but if you're backpacking in, nah, you're just wise to have the right insulation with you, because stoves can fail, wood can get wet, all sorts of problems can happen. Always have a backup option, and always make sure you've got proper insulation. And you stay warm, and when it's 3-4 o'clock in the morning and you're deep asleep, you don't want to wake up every 2 hours to stoke that fire. Just go to sleep, put on a balaclava, keep the cold air out of your nose and throat. You won't wake up all raspy. And have a good night with it. And when you wake up and gotta get out of your warm sleeping bag, then you stoke your fire. Once it's warm, you just, like I said, climb back in for a little bit if you want, and it's not too bad. I encourage you guys, if you're interested in hot tenting, there's a lot of options out there. You can go little, you can go big, you can go in between, you can go real cheap, you can go medium range, you can go real expensive. There's even options out there to modify tents to add a stove jack with the proper material, and some people roll their own stoves, some people buy them. Just kind of personal preference, how much weight you want to carry around, what your budget is. So it's a fun hobby to get into, but do your research and be prepared for the realities. Winter camping's it's a lot hostile, so if you know how to prepare right for it, you can have fun with it and enjoy it. So it's probably, the stove cooled down, I'm gonna guess probably like 45, 50-ish in here right now. It's a lot better than outside. It's like 28, 27 outside. But it's definitely cooling down, so yeah. Oh, better get up before I fall asleep. Oh, the sound of silence. Holy cow, look at that. You don't see that every day. Nice lunar eclipse. Getting near the peak. That is a very red moon. One other thing that's real nice is I got a little lantern hanger I got from Cabela's years ago, and just kind of wrap that around the pole there. And then you got a little hook, you can hang your lantern, or you can just hang up your jacket if it gets a little wet. You can hang it to dry, get it nice and warm. Makes it nice and cozy. So I got the Hammock Swiftlet here. And as I was talking earlier, between the hammock and the cordage for the underquilt, that's kind of brought it over that hook and brought it down to tension it a little more. When I just did it off to the side and put it over there directly, it wasn't tensioned enough, and this guy was falling down. once I tensioned that underquilt a lot better, it just hugged right up there. So that's nice and cozy. Got my little collapsible thermarest pillow, and it's got a little chair out here and a tea. Got a couple of Rubbermaid totes. I got some little scrap wood I got from sawmill, cut it down. And I did have some other firewood in here, but I used it up last couple of nights. Had some oak and some sweet gum. But I got a little cook kit and a little lantern down there. Finally ran out of the isobutane. And have a little box of pine cones I collected around the yard. That's a great fire starter. I've just been taking a match and using those and starting up the fire. And I got these little compressed sawdust logs, and these are just really just sawdust. There's no wax in them. You do not want a waxed log in a wood stove. You'll clog up any spark arresters or anything you've got, smoke you out in the middle of the night. So if you got these types that don't have wax, they're pretty good. They burn fairly well. They're portable. Don't have to worry about the high cost of lumber or bark or anything else. You can see there's a little bit of condensation on the walls tonight. One thing with sil nylon, sil poly structures, if you get a inner liner that you can clip on, it makes a little bit of an air gap between the outer wall and then the liner, which serves as an inner wall, and any of that condensation will just basically stay in between those layers, and then when things start to melt later on, that'll all just rain down in between the layers instead of raining down on you. I smacked the tent a little bit earlier and it was raining down on me. So just want to show you here, I got the hose for the dryer vent coming into the tent, and got my little battery there, and got the heater outside. So it's doing pretty well. It's burning down real nice. Got some little kindling there. Poured a little hot candle wax in there. I got these compressed sawdust logs. Throw one or two in there. It'll last a little bit. Enjoying some herbal tea here. Got a little bit of lavender, chamomile my daughter had, and then got myself some peppermint that I normally drink. It'd be good on a nice cold night like tonight. So it's I think about 28, 27 or so outside right now. It's supposed to get down even a little colder in the morning, but yeah, it's nice to have a wood stove. The diesel heater, been trying that out in here for a while. First night when it was 65, yeah, made it a little warmer in here than it was outside. It was comfortable. I just had a little cheap sleeping bag with me and nothing else on the hammock, and slept all right. And last night got down to about 37. I had my same cheap sleeping bag, Walmart, Kmart type one. It's like 30 years old, and now it's probably like a 30-degree bag or something. Nothing special. It was something I got when I was a kid, and decided, well, I'll go ahead and bring out a little Local Libre Operator Series underquilt and top quilt set. So they're rated for 50 degrees, and underquilt's just kind of like a half-size quilt. So with the Swiftlet stand, you can't get stuff real well all the way across it. So I thought, well, I'll just use a smaller one, see how it does. And early in the night, when I tried sleeping with it, I didn't have it tensioned well enough over the stand. I just kind of took it around the side, and you know, it was hanging down quite a bit. Got a cold bottom and everything. You know, my back and shoulders are freezing. So I woke up later, I was like, yeah, I'm going to tension that sucker a little better. So I rerouted it over the frame. That made it a lot nicer because it just brought everything up, and slept real nice in the morning hours then with that. And just put the top quilt on and put the sleeping bag kind of around me, and you know, worked pretty well. Got a little tinge of something in my lungs from being out in the cold. You know, I was out in the cold last weekend doing scouting for food. We're gonna go out again this weekend, so I gotta kind of keep some health about myself. But yeah, I just figured I'd come out here and just lounge around for a little bit, and let the tea kick in and go to bed. The diesel heater on a small tent works pretty well. On a big colossus structure like this, yeah, it's gonna warm it just a little, but you know, you won't freeze to death, but you ain't gonna be hot and warm. You know, wood stove's great. You know, you want to raise it 40 degrees compared to outside temperatures, get a wood stove. If you want to raise it, you know, maybe 20 degrees or something in a big tent, you could probably have some other sort of heater, you know, propane, white gas, diesel, whatever. Get a smaller tent, it's going to raise it up a lot nicer. You know, you're probably getting that 30-degree raise, whatever, you know. But wood's still kind of the champion when it comes to heat. Just this quick burst. Then you gotta kind of damp it down a little bit to sustain it through the night, but then it's not going to be as hot. But it's a nice dry heat, it's comfortable. As long as you got something to keep you hydrated, you're good. Well, everybody, if you like what you've seen, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and get a thumbs up. I'll catch you again in the outdoors. As always, thanks for watching.